How's it going, YouTube? Wanted to go over some of the gear for this build. It's just the 6-piece Tal-Vyr set with the 4-piece Vyr set. You have to run the Tal-Vyr Amulet and Tal-Vyr Source. Those are the mandatory slots for Tal-Vyr, and the mandatory slots for Vyr are going to be the boots and the shoulders. The opposite set doesn't have those slots, so that's why you have to run those. I prefer to run the Tal-Vyr chest piece because it gives you attack speed, or at least it has a chance to roll attack speed. You're going to need the Bazula's Improbable Chain for your belt, Nemesis Bracers, and then Ingium for your weapon. For the rings, I like to use Zodiac and Avaris Band for normal rifts, and for greater rifts, I end up using Zodiac and Convention. And for greater rifts, I swap out Boon of the Hoarder for Bane of the Powerful. If you're dying too much and you're not happy with it, or you don't have good gear yet for cooldowns, then you could also do a survival gem like Esoteric, or probably something that might even be better is a decently leveled Gizzard. And then cooldown and helm and intelligence gems, topaz gems in the chest and pants. Use Bane of the Traps for your all-time Zodiac slot, and for your Tal-Vyr you always use Stricken. So that's it. Skill-wise, we use Arcane Torrent, Static Discharge, Magic Weapon Deflection, Frozen Nova, or Frost Nova Frozen Mist, Archon Combustion, Familiar Sparkflint, Teleport Calamity, and then I'm using Illusionist, Audacity, Unstable Anomaly, and Evocation. In the cube, we use the Furnace, Swami, and the Royal Ring to get both sets. The Swami is a must. If you don't have this, then it is going to be very difficult. So I would not attempt this build without the Swami. The good thing about this build is that currently there are 3 builds viable for a wizard in Season 7, which is a DPS wizard using the Archon Fireburn, which is really great for speed runs in a 4 group. You have a Z-Wiz, which I have a guide up for, which is really great for synergy with the DPS wizard for speed runs. And then you have the speed farm build, which is extremely fast for key grinding or for mat grinding. Really great for getting those bounties done. It's really fast. My build at 2 million paper damage, I'm able to do T12s in a 4-player group, but I have to pick and choose what bounties I end up doing, because if it's certain bounties, if I don't have a lot of elites and stuff, it can be difficult to keep those stacks up and my damage drops off a little bit. Otherwise, T11 bounties in the 4 group, fast, super fast, and you're going to be one of the fastest. This is one of the fastest builds. Anytime you join a T11 4 group for rifts, whatever you want to do, you're going to be one of the fastest. So that's it. Try to kill 1 or 2 elites every time you're in Archon form. That'll get your cooldown high enough with your Ingium procs to be an Archon immediately, right after. You don't need to build any stacks or anything in between. All you have to do is proc your Tal-Vyr. You're very strong with Tal-Vyr and Archon overlap. You don't end up carrying all of the Tal-Vyr buffs because you only do 1 type of damage in Archon, but there is overlap when you go into Archon and when you come out of Archon. And that overlap period, which looks like, 8 seconds? That 8-second period where you're in both, when you have full Tal-Vyr stacks and Archon stacks, you are very, very, very strong DPS-wise. And if you notice in the videos I post after this, you might see me come out of Archon and use Archon Torrent to just shred an elite, because the Archon stacks and the Tal-Vyr stacks are just too high. Too high damage. So I use life per hit on my potion. Doesn't really matter what you use, honestly. I just like life per hit for my Arcane Torrent when I'm out of Archon. You need to double stack your Archon stacks. You need to double stack that proc. So that's why the Swami is important, because you get all your toughness from Archon stacks. And so the first time you go into Archon, your DPS won't be as high, but the second time, if you can go into Archon pretty quickly, the second time you'll have your stacks from the first time, and you'll be able to overlap, and your damage just ramps up from there. Ideally, you want to be looking at somewhere between 90 and 100 stacks on each Archon buff. Alright, good luck guys, hope this build was helpful, and feel free to ask any questions or make any requests for any more future guides. Alright, have fun guys.
for you as well, chap. You have a gem?